Okay, Tanner, your two computers arrived back for the 2007 Ford Fusion. I'm going to do a video for each of these so we don't confuse the two. We'll start with this one. This is the SMM0. That's that replacement computer. Sorry, that's the original computer that you sent me the first time. By the way, when it arrived, it's missing this piece. I found it in the box. Missing a little chip out of that corner. Here's the box, and it looks a little dropped in the corner there. And I found the piece inside the packing hardware. Okay, so this is the computer we're working on. It is connected to my power supply, and this is the 4Scan software that you need to have. And I'm going to show you what happens when we go up here and we connect. Sorry, it's down here that we connect. My apologies. Press this button here, connect to vehicle. And now it's connecting. It's asking me if it's a Fusion or a Milan. We put Fusion. And there we go. Shows us a list of all the codes. I'll get to that in another second. Would you like to save a profile for this car? No, not right now. Okay, configuration. Ford Fusion 4-valve, year 2006. Just so you know, sometimes they identify as a generation. So this computer might have started in 06. It doesn't actually mean it's an 06. Or it might be an 07 computer with an 06 calibration in it, either way. There is your strategy code and your hardware type and your VIN number ending in R240078. Here is your paperwork that you sent in last time. This was for the other computer. The original was the SMM0. The KUZO you sent me is your other one. That was the one you sent me to be a clone of this one. That's this VINs that you see here are what I read out of the computer when it came in. Is there anything else we can use for here? Here's where I sent it back to you. You can see that I did a Ford software update and I deleted PATS. And on the back, P1260, which is the theft code, was gone when I was done. It starts off as disabled with anti-theft, and it ended up, that parameter goes away, and this one goes to electronic throttle control. Okay. This is the computer that you told me that you reflashed back to stock. So, it should no longer have PATS on it, right? We're going to check that, and here's how you do that. You go to, well, first we start with data trouble codes, and we're going to look at a list of all the different codes. I can tell you none of these are important except for the one that says P1260. All these codes pop up because I'm on the bench. So you're getting all kinds of throttle body codes and stuff like that. You can see them if you want. Throttle position sensor unplugged, throttle position sensor circuit high, fuel pump circuit malfunction, reference voltage. All these are because stuff is unplugged on the bench. The only thing on the bench that I have plugged in is power, ground, and communication. But the one that we are interested in is code P1260, theft. Engine disabled by PATS. Okay? That's what happens when you have PATS not deleted. It's not deleted because you overwrote my tune with the Ford software and returned this back to stock as you told me. Here is the list of parameters that we can log on this third button down here. The first parameter is called PATS enable. It's the vehicle enable status, whether PATS is enabling the computer or disabling the computer. I haven't started logging yet, so you can not pay attention to these just yet. The second parameter is called torque control. It's what is in charge of torque for the car. Okay, now when we actually run this, we go down here and we hit the play button. I've already picked out the two parameters I want to log, which are PATS enable and torque control. And I hit the log button, the play button there, and then it shows me, there we are. PATS enable is disabled, meaning PATS is stopping the car from running. Torque control is anti-theft, meaning that anti-theft is in charge. I can stop this thing and start it again, and it comes back every time. Stop it again, start it again. As you can see, this computer, as you would expect for a factory programmed computer that was returned back to stock by you, is PATS disabled. When we delete PATS, this parameter actually just goes away. There's nothing left here because there's no enable or disable when you get rid of PATS. Torque control, on the other hand, there's still torque control in a computer. It just won't be anti-theft anymore. It'll be something else. So when we change that, that torque control is going to switch from anti-theft to probably electronic throttle control, just like it did the last time you sent this computer in, right? So you're going to see this go from PATS enable, disabled, to PATS enable, and this is just going to be blank. You're going to see torque control go from anti-theft to electronic throttle control, meaning anti-theft is no longer stopping the computer. And then this code up here, P1260, engine disabled by PATS. That's the code that tells you that PATS is screwing you up. And that's going to disappear when we delete PATS. Okay, now to make sure we're talking about the same computer here, let's have a look at what you've programmed it for. Where is it? There and there. This is the computer that I'm working on that has that VIN stored in it and that strategy code stored in it. Those are whatever you programmed with the Ford software, not what we programmed in the last time I was here. Last time I was here, you told me to take this computer and make it a clone of this computer, which is what I did. They're the same computer. They have two different calibration codes, SMM0 and KUZO, but they're functionally identical pieces of hardware. So we can take this SMM0 tune and put it in a KUZO computer. Okay, so this SMM0 is obviously the one you returned back to stock because PATS is disabling this computer, and you told me you did that. So that all makes sense, right? Okay. I'm going to stop that log. By the way, this log is live. You can see it's still logging. The numbers are moving. That's the timestamp. All right, we're going to stop that. And when we stop it, it looks like this. And then we will delete PATS on this all over again. And I'll start another video to show you the after results of this same computer hooked up the same way onto my bench. Okay? And that bench, by the way, if you want to follow a little further, hooks up to an OBD2 port. That OBD2 port hooks up to this box, which indicates what's going on. It's basically an OBD2 breakout box, and then ultimately to this Ford VCM2 factory programming and scan tool. We can see here this computer is functioning. I don't know if you can see it on there, but the CAN light, which is here, that's CAN high. It's actually flickering. See that? That's communications happening. So this computer's alive and well and talking, and the VCM2 is showing that as well. See how the little computer design there, it's talking, right? So this guy is communicating through this guy. That's just a OBD2 breakout box into this, and ultimately to your computer. So I am talking with that computer. Everything is working. All right, that's phase 1 out of 4 phases. This is computer number 1, SMM0 that we're working on. It's fully functional right now, and as you told me, it does not have PATS deleted anymore because you wiped out my custom tune and you rewrote it back to stock. All right, that's exactly what I'm seeing. It is back to stock, and when we hit the play button down here, it is PATS is disabling the car, and the torque control is being controlled by anti-theft. Both indicate, along with that P1260 code that you see right here, both indicate that PATS is a problem. I'll even go one step further. I'll show you what happens when we clear that P1260 code. First, I have to stop logging. Then I can come down here and go to trouble codes. I somehow didn't stop logging. There we go. Stop logging. Go to trouble codes. And now we can clear codes. It says here, this action will clear the codes. Do you want to do that? And the answer is, yeah, we'll clear the codes, sure. Cycle the key on and off, and then back on. That's what it says. Cycle the key off and then back on. We hit OK, and now it pulls these codes all over again. And the 1260 is still there, just like you'd expect. I'll re-pull it. I'll re-pull it again. You can see code 1260 is still there. Obviously, I'm just gilding the lily here to show you everything about this computer is stock, and Pat's is blocking this computer from working by evidence of the code P1260. And then these two, when you hit log, Pat's disabled, torque control, anti-theft. Okay? All right, that's the end of phase one. Next, I am going to upload this video, and then I'm going to re-delete Pat's on this thing and show you that there is a difference there. We're also going to install the custom tune that you and I went over every parameter with in here. And that custom tune has the minimal number of changes we can get away with without fully erasing everything we did. So we're just going to put those changes that you and I discussed individually into this computer along with a fresh Pat's delete, and then we'll check it again with the software to make sure that everything is functional as it should be and that Pat's is indeed disabled. Okay, Steve out.